I'm in the field this week, out selling, staying in yet another hotel. And something came up last week in mentoring and talking with some of the guys that have been out of work for a while. And that is when you get to looking for work again and you've been out of work for a year or even two, you got to be real with yourself. Every one of these guys I talk to are not really taking into account where they're at this point. I talked to one young man last night, and he's had jobs in IT sales for quite a while, but he got real with himself and got a job, and starting at the end of the month, thank God. And it's not in IT sales, it's in something else. It pays a little less, but it's a job. And I think if I were to be real with myself when I'm looking for a job, the reason I always end up in SLED in sales is this. I was an engineer. Most of the people I sell to in SLED were engineers that are now managers. And I'm real enough with myself not to move to Los Angeles and start trying to sell to Fortune 100 companies. It just probably wouldn't work out. And you've got to be sort of real with yourself. I'm not saying to not dream or hold yourself back, but if you've been out of work for a year or two, you might come down a step from whatever the salary demands and company demands you've got in your head to who is actually hiring. Could I take that on? Could I be successful? Or maybe even more basic than that, will it sustain me? Can I just make it through what is honestly rough economic times out here right now? And there's going to be less and less of these higher end IT sales jobs. I just feel like a lot of this stuff's going to the marketplaces, and there's less of these jobs. And if you got one, be thankful you've got one. If you don't have one and you've been out of work for a while, be real with yourself, and you might want to start looking for something that you hadn't considered. Real estate, car sales, what have you. I pray that I don't get in a position where I have to do that, but if I do, I'll probably start looking at going back and selling aircraft or getting a first class medical and flying planes again. But you got to have some fallback positions in life, and you got to be realistic with yourself on what those fallback positions are.